And now we're learning the shir of Chafal of Cheshvan. Okay? So the Rebbe's vart is that you have to have a lavush to receive Seiv of Kalalman. And this lavush goes from the highest level to the lowest level. It starts out as Ratzon and it comes on in Mitzvahs Maisiyas Mamish. Says the Rebbe, the first in Zeir Azeh. The Inun of Din Tovin, the Ovid Banash, these are the good deeds that man does. That Mashchi, that draw Mineheda from the light. The Ziv of the supernal rays, Levush of a garment. V'chami, and through this garment of light, they're able to see v'chuli, b'neim avaya v'chuli, the pleasantness of the Eibishter. In other words, the Alter Rebbe quotes the Zohar. This is exactly what he said. What the Zohar says is plain. A Jew takes a piece of light, makes from that light a garment with which he's able to see the light. Which is weird. How do you take a piece of light and make it the garment of the light? It's exactly what the Tanya is saying here. The Saf of Seiv of Kalaman is Ratzon, and you use the Ratzon as a levush to see Tainuk. So the Rebbe says, what I told you is really a Zayar in a few lines. And the Zayar says exactly these words. But of course, if we had not learned the Zayar Sakedesh, we wouldn't understand the Zayar. The Zayar doesn't make any sense. How do you use light as a garment to get light? So the Alter Rebbe explains it. And now that he taught you the Pshat, the Zayar goes very glad. And now the Alter Rebbe makes a kvetch. V'agam the Hossam. When you look in that Zayar, it's Maide B'Gan Eden Atachten. It's speaking about the lower Gan Eden. Sham the levushim again tachneim mitzvahs ma'asiyas mamish are from the act of the mitzvahs alone. Ava Gan Eden elyon as opposed to the higher Gan Eden. Halavushim the garments hey miruusa the kavana the liba from the will and kavana of the heart be'eraiso tzleisa in Torah and in Tefillah. Which custom is sham daf reishut. Akasha. What are we saying? We're saying that mitzvahs ma'is, which are the lowest level, are the revelation of the Ratzon, which is Levush for Tainu. Says the Alter Rebbe, wait. If you look in that Zayar, it says two things. It says that the Takad is a meaning for Mitzvahs Maisis, which is the Ratzon, which is Levush for Tainu, but that's only Gered Natach. And Gered Nalin is Kavana. So how could we make a whole shturim dafka out of halacha as opposed to other parts of Torah, and dafka out of mitzvahs ma'asis as opposed to other halakim of Yiddishkeit, when the Zayar makes a clear distinction and says Gan Eden Elyon is kavana? So Alter Rebbe says no, Gan Eden Elyon is not kavana. Gan Eden Elyon is a mitzvah with kavana. Kavana alone is nothing. This act is the same of Kalaman, and Gan Eden Elyon is when you do the act with the kavana. Let's read it inside. Is the tenets. Harya kavanahi, the pshat is kavanas asoke b'teira lishma mi'avas adishem. It's learning teira. You're doing the mitzvah now, but then you're doing it with a kavanah lishma from ava. U'mitzvahs talmud teira gam k'mechal mitzvahs ma'is. And learning teira is also one of the mitzvahs ma'is because of the principle that we had on the previous page. Ta'kim asvos have a ma'is. That when you say with your lips, you're makayim a mitzvah. And on the other hand, v'hir lav k'di b'dami. And when you think teira, you're not speaking v'einayete dechavase v'hir lavade. You're not makayim mitzvah talmud teira b'machshava alone. V'chein b'tfilah. And the same is true in davening. So b'meila in Gan Eden Elyon, yes, there's a gil of Seiv of Kalamas, it's char for kavana, but it's not char for kavana alone, it's char for kavana with the asiyah. Umaga, moreover, ki mailas hakavana ladiba u'maiseh. The advantage of the kavana of speech and action, eina mitad atzma v'chulu, is not by itself. El mitad ha'aretz ratzna elyon v'chulu, it's because of the will of the Eibishter. I don't know if you remember Tanya Perek Lamed Ches. In Tanya Perek Lamed Ches, the Alter Rebbe is swinging the pendulum back. Perek Lamed Hey Lamed Vav Lamed Zayin speak about the mile of Maisa. Did it betachtoinim, you invited Nefesh Bahamas, you invited Chalki Ba'elam, and so on. The Maila of Asiyah, right? Ol Teisves Beard, Be'er Hativ, Loshan, La Seisesh, Reposi, God Lachadav made V'gayim. That's how Perek Lamed Hey starts. So with Heilam Vav, I talk about action. Lamed Ches, the Alter Rebbe swings the pendulum the other way. He says, whatever it is, Amru Chazal, Yedua, whatever the Lashon is, Mitzvah B'lei Kavon, and Go B'lei Nisham. And he starts talking about Kavona. And he says, head. There's 4 madregas of Yiddishkeit. That's what he says, which correspond to Daimim Tzmei Chayim Medaber. What's Daimim? You do a mitzvah maisis without kavanah. What's Semeach? Means you do a mitzvah of Diba without kavanah. What's Chay? You do a mitzvah with kavanah, but it's the Chil Rechim Tivim. And what's Medaber? You do a mitzvah maisis with kavanah, but the Chil Rechim Sichlim. In other words, you're doing an act, And the act is mamshach atzmus. And when you do the act with a kavanah, you mamshach a higher atzmus. So the Alter Rebbe there asked the question, I don't understand. If a mitzvah maisis is mamshach atzmus, giluyim is nothing legabe atzmus. So what difference does it make about the kavanah? And the Alter Rebbe answers, because this is what the Eibishter wants. The mile of the kavanah is not the kavanah. The mile of the kavanah means it's a different action. In other words, even the kavanah, the fact that the kavanah enhances the effectiveness of the maaseh is mitzad the ratzon ha'elyon, not mitzad the feeling, not mitzad the quote, to use a hippie term, the experience of the mitzvah. But as the Eibishter gewollt. The Eibishter says you have 4 pashas in tefillin, not 5. The Eibishter said a mitzvah with kavanah is higher than mitzvah without kavanah. But the emphasis is on the Eibishter's ratzon, not on the rachkeit and the gishmak. So Alter Rebbe says, Meila ben Yigel done. The Zohar is not at all a kasha. The bottom line is, in mitzvahs, maisis, you have a gil ratzon ha'elyon. And the fact that kavanah changes the effect of that action, it's a part of the mitzvah maisis too. It's not your experience, it's the ratzon ha'elyon. Go ahead.
Why talk about the Eibishter want kavanah?
As they take a vote. Why tell you which one to film? As they take a vote. That's what Alter Rebbe says, Perek Lamed Ches. You have to look inside. You have to look inside. It says very clearly. Savard. That's right. It's Indian that your mamshech atzmus and gashmis differently with kavanah. Kavanah can't be explained based on the advantage of the kavanah because it's giluyim, and the mitzvah itself is atzmus, so it cancels out giluyim. It's only because the ratzon ha'elyon. Ich will devise in the wette innovative because it's very edel in a kuda. It's on daf nun amid base at the bottom. Seven lines from the bottom. 100, page 100 in Tanya. 7 lines from the bottom. V'loisha dveikus hamachshava v'seichel be'yizbarach hi mitzad atzmo l'maylo midveikus ki mitzvahs ma'asis b'pel mamish mishos l'kamon alipnei shezeo gam kenetzeni yizbarach. The selbe Rotzen was will tfilm und nicht potato chips will tfilm mit kavanah und nicht so. That's all. That's interessant. Very interesting.